My Willie's Remedy video did Willie well. So today we're testing another THC Spirit Alternative. This is Ellora from Crescent Canna, bottled, non-carbonated, designed for mixing. Today we're going to make a Bramble, a Jack Rose, and a Sour to see if this works in real cocktails. Today I'm using the 10 milligram version. It also comes in 5 and 20 milligram. And if you want to learn more about the effects, I'll discuss my personal experience with that later in the video. Use the chapters if you want to skip directly to that part. Since Crescent is a New Orleans company, I'm trusting their cocktail recipes should be solid. I got all 3 of them off of their website and made a few of my own modifications. We'll start out with the Bramble. The Bramble normally uses gin and was created in the 80s by London bartender Dick Bradsell, who also invented the espresso martini. We'll be swapping the gin in the original Bramble recipe for Ellora. So we'll start out by adding 3 or 4 blackberries to our shaker and a little bit of simple syrup, 3/4 of an ounce. Muddle those. Alright, after that we'll add 1.5 ounces of Ellora, which is the 10 milligram serving. Be careful measuring this, especially if you haven't had it before. And finally, 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. So I'm gonna shake this one with pebble ice, and we're gonna open pour it into our little rock glass. We'll top it off with some more of the pebble ice and garnish it with a blackberry and a lemon wheel. So there's our Bramble. Alright, next up is the Jack Rose. The Jack Rose usually uses Applejack, but we'll be using Ellora and apple cider instead. So we're gonna start out with 1.5 ounces of Ellora, 1 ounce of apple cider. This Musselman's brand was the only one I could find this time of year. It was kind of hard to find actually, but 1 ounce of that, 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, and 3/4 of an ounce of grenadine. I made this grenadine by using 1 part pomegranate juice and 1 part demerara sugar. Okay, we're gonna add some ice to our shaker, and then we'll be double straining it into a chilled coupe. And I will garnish this one with 3 Luxardo cherries. There's our Jack Rose. Next up we have the Ellora Sour. So for this one we're gonna start out with an egg white. After that, you guessed it, 1.5 ounces of Ellora. 3/4 ounces each of lemon juice and simple syrup. 1/2 ounce of cranberry juice, and if you're using the sweetened cranberry juice cocktail, you might want to dial the simple syrup back a little bit. And I'm also going to add a couple dashes of Angostura bitters. And anytime I make an egg white cocktail, I dry shake it first. That means you shake it without the ice. Alright, and then you can tell that the egg's like forming a really nice foam that'll make a nice head on our drink. So now I'll add the ice and shake it again just to chill and dilute it like any other drink. And I'm gonna strain this one into one of my favorite little cocktail glasses. I'm gonna do a nice simple garnish of a dried lime wheel and maybe a few dots of the Angostura bitters to decorate it a little more. And there's our Ellora Sour. Alright, now it's time to taste test all 3 of them. Let's start out with the first one. We made the Bramble. Straw's getting clogged up with fresh fruit goodness, but this is very lemon forward. The blackberries and the lemon work really well with the agave note you get from the Ellora. So this one, it definitely tastes like a real cocktail and not just juice. It has a really faint kind of weedy taste, but I don't think it would be anything that would be off-putting to anyone. So I'd recommend the Bramble, and if you wanted to avoid the straw clogging, you could strain out the pieces of fruit. Alright, let's move on to the Jack Rose. That was the one where we used the Ellora and apple cider to replace the apple brandy that is normally used in this drink. That one is like nice and bright still. It's a little softer, still balanced, I normally think of apple cider as a fall flavor, but the fruit juice kind of brightens it up, so I think this could be an any time of the year drink if you could find the apple cider. And again, tastes like a real cocktail even without the alcohol in it. So third up, I feel like this is the fanciest one of all, the Ellora Sour with our egg white and nice decorations on the top. I've made this one before and I really enjoyed it. And this time I used the tart cranberry juice instead of the cranberry juice cocktail. That came out perfectly. I think I like this one a little better than the last one I did. The recipe on the description below is what I'd recommend for this one. And if you don't want to have to get the egg whites, you could use fee foam and it would be vegan. Or if you don't want the hassle, you can get the egg whites that come in a carton instead of cracking a whole egg. But I am really happy with all three of these. Let's talk effects. This is going to be different for everyone, so I always say start low and slow. For me, 10 milligrams is a perfect amount. It makes me feel kind of relaxed and kind of a little floaty. Kicks in after about 20 minutes. Normally, I tend to multitask a lot and kind of bounce between things, but with a 10 milligram THC cocktail, I'm actually able to sit down and focus. For example, after I finish recording this, I'll probably go upstairs and get most of the editing done in one go. But when I film alcoholic cocktail videos and drink 2 or 3 of those, it's the opposite. I'll goof around, I'll forget to shoot B-roll, wake up tired the next day, stretch the editing out over 3 days instead of just finishing it. That said, if I don't have anything planned after I've had one of these, my default would be to just sit on the couch and watch YouTube for hours. So I almost have to decide ahead of time that I'm going to be productive in order to get that little boost. How did they make you feel? Leave a comment about it below. If you miss making cocktails but don't want alcohol, I think this is a great option. I like that there are multiple strengths available. And if you want to check out some more THC cocktail recipes, click here or here. Cheers!